I recover out loud because I almost died in silence. That is one of the most powerful statements I've ever read, especially lately. Because the more I make these, the more I write my book, the more I speak at events, the more mentees I have, the more my story gets told. This is what we're feeling. I'm speaking up, recovering out loud, because I almost died in silence. The moment I gave myself permission to live out loud, I was able to unlock doors on doors with my loved ones and newcomers too. Meaning mental health matters. Meaning it is time to speak up, and suppressing traumas ain't it. The reason why I know I heal is because I talk about it and go through my emotions. Believe me, some of them are hard-hitting, to the point of either feeling embarrassed to talk about them out loud or ashamed for having those feelings at all. Something that I do work on a daily basis and take my time to do so, of course, since all my feelings are valid. You just got to find a way to work through them. There's going to be a time where you don't talk about trauma as much or maybe even at all, and that's the goal. To get there, all we gotta do is to talk about it and find the tools that fit our needs to do so. And that's me right now. I have therapy on dark subjects or tips like these to remind you to talk about it. As a matter of fact, sometimes keeping the peace is what keeps the cycle going on for generations. This happens a lot still to this very day, no matter the background, even though we tend to notice a pattern with POC, and even no matter what number sibling you are, because not only the oldest, sometimes the youngest also gets it, and the middle child as well, or anywhere in between, especially if you're a woman. You're supposed to keep the peace and keep it all nice and calm. In other words, not have any anger over anything or quote-unquote fits. This is your reminder that healing and grieving are a continuous thing that we do in our lives, and without a timeline or expiration date on it, because your feelings are valid. Speak out, talk to someone, work out through all those feelings. As I've shared when I cried at the fair or when I met Bluey and Bingo, for two different emotions right there. One was super sad and one was super happy, and we do have videos on those two moments. As I shared when I overcame a fear that made me so happy that I celebrated and danced in the rain and twirled around like a little kid. As I shared when I got the best news ever, that I put on that cute outfit and took all those pictures around this beautiful city, just because. So on and so forth. You've seen it in these videos and in these moments in time. Sometimes I feel like I say everything and sometimes nothing at all. It feels like I'm a teenager all over again and not being fully able to express what I really want to say. And actually wanting or leaning into if you're actually understanding me at all. Sometimes this feels like an empty stage where the only audience is my inner thoughts, my inner critic, my inner child, and my future me. The critic is the harshest. The one word indicates to me to stop everything and cut it out. I'm so cheesy. But here I am doing this anyway because the other audience members are standing ovation, or giving me a standing ovation, cheering me on, and those are the ones that I'm listening to. Because what I'm doing makes me proud. The way that I express myself and show up for myself makes me really, really proud. Showing my mistakes, my cheesiness, my happiness, my sadness, and all of the things between of this roller coaster ride makes me proud. Anytime I learn more about marketing, for example, there's a sentence that comes up. No one cares about you yet. You can't do a day in the life. You can't share your thoughts this way. You have to do XYZ. Well, maybe I am taking the hard way or the road less traveled, or maybe I'm taking the longer route too. Because guess what? As of right now, I still don't care what an algorithm says. I know in my heart and hearts, whoever's watching and listening in is here because they want to be and getting something out of it. And most of all, this is the part of me that you're never going to take away from me. I would totally sing that because that is a Katy Perry song. And there's also a quote that says, "No one cares about me." No one cares about me. And that has turned into one of the most positive things because that is more of a reason to be myself. It is my life after all, and you're still here watching it. Talking about that, right now in my life, whether you're new and old here, you must know that I'm in the midst of new beginnings while breaking old patterns, working on my business while working as a teacher, and finding the balance to that world where I take care of myself and my soul. And oh yeah, of course, staying up to bully, speaking my truth, and keeping my boundaries. This feels super obvious to me that the new level has finally sunk into. Because from what I feel and see, even if things aren't exactly how I want them to be, and yes, that leads me to a lot of anger at times, which I'm working on, these events that are happening right now are connected to a much bigger story. I know this also in my heart of hearts. So whatever needs to leave, out the door it goes. Whatever comes in is a greater significance for my own soul developments. So pay attention to the prologue and enjoy the story as it is being written as we speak. And remember the quote,